I start these? What do I say? Hello? Hello. So, what? I lost my train of thought. I made a community post, is that what it's called? I don't know, sure. I made a community post asking for some questions to answer, because that's what you do with questions. And now I'm answering them. So, first, number 1, who introduced you to all the cool bands you listen to? I don't really know, honestly. So I started out with, like, what my family introduced me to. So, even when I was, like, really little, my grandparents play all this 50s and 60s stuff on their jukebox. So I know a lot of that stuff. Honestly, like, 50s and 60s music is so good. Like, all those songs are so happy, and, like, the doo-wop and stuff. I love that stuff. Like, I don't listen to it, like, I don't listen to it all the time, but when I do, or when I hear it, it's just, like, the happiest, nicest music ever. Like, it makes me feel so good. And, the stuff I like now does that. But I guess it's just because I grew up with that music. Even if, like, the time it was made was way before I even existed, but it's kind of nostalgic to me in a way. So I like all that stuff, and I'm not ashamed of it because it's good. So yeah, that kind of stuff, and then, your 80s and 90s stuff, and from my, parents, mostly my mom, because she loves music and knows a lot of stuff. So, I liked music. I always, had a love for it, enjoyed it, like, had an appreciation. But, like, as a little kid, all I really had was what my family would listen to, and, like, what they played on the radio, and, like, some CDs I bought, which, okay, you can call me a poser. I bought some Taylor Swift CDs. I don't like her now. I think she's kind of mediocre. I am too, but, I'm not, like, a billionaire or whatever she is. So, yeah. I digress. I don't know why I felt the need to share that. I didn't even need to. But now you know. I still own all those CDs. They're somewhere. So yeah, that's kind of all I knew, but 2 years ago, when I decided to start playing guitar again, after not playing since I was 7, if you didn't know, this isn't my first time. I was a quitter when I was younger, 7. My grandparents put me in guitar lessons. It wasn't something I wanted to do. Like, I never expressed that I wanted to, but my grandma wanted me to. So she just did it, and I didn't have a choice. I just went, I don't know. So I liked it. Like, I liked being able to play songs and, like, have people be like, oh, wow. I liked that, but, being a 7-year-old, it's like, I want to play what I want to play. And that's still what happened to me now. I actually almost quit because I, like, couldn't learn any songs, or I just didn't feel like I was good enough to even try to learn what I wanted to learn. So I got really frustrated because my teacher wouldn't, like, let me learn anything I wanted to. And looking back on it now, that dude, he could have taught me a Taylor Swift song. It's not that hard. They're not that hard. I could have done it. Or I could have even simplified a version. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of mad about that because I think if I was able to play what I wanted to, I would have kept going. But whatever. Because no 7-year-old, I don't want to even do it now. You don't want to be playing Green Sleeves in, like, that's the only song I remember from the book. Nursery rhymes or whatever. Like, nobody wants to play that. You know? So, I ended up moving, and so I just didn't continue lessons. But 2 years ago, you know, I'd had the fleeting thought, you know, every now and then, like, oh, I'd kind of like to do it again, but I just didn't go through with it. But 2 years ago, on like a random Wednesday, I was like, I'm gonna buy a guitar. I did some research. I had money in the bank that I hadn't used, so I just bought it with that. And, you know, in the matter of 2 days, I had a guitar on the way, and I don't know what came over me, because usually I am not that quick in making such a big decision, especially like buying something. It was quite impulsive, but it's fine. But I just knew, I guess. I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do, and I'm gonna stick through with it, and I did. You know, there's some times where I got frustrated and thought I was gonna quit, but I didn't. So yeah, anyways, so once I started playing guitar again, that's when I went like all in with music. I was like, this is the best thing ever. And it is. So I just kind of did some of my own digging and found more bands and kind of formed my own tastes. I can't really remember like chronologically everything I listened to in order, but eventually, pretty quickly actually, I stumbled down the punk and the metal rabbit holes, and that just kind of blew my mind. I was like, this is exactly what I was looking for. Like, I didn't know what I was looking for before, but it was what I was looking for, apparently. I obviously found a lot of bands through, like, word of mouth online, or I guess word of fingers. You know, you see certain band names online or, like, on YouTube and stuff, and after a while you're just like, okay, why is everybody talking about them? I need to go check them out. And so that is a way I found a lot of bands. And, you know, some stuff would just, like, autoplay, you know, from, like, playlists, just, like, a similar band to whatever I'm listening to. I'll get a song, and 98% of the time, like, I'd skip it and pick something else. But the rare occasion that I actually do listen to it, sometimes I found something I like, so. And since starting my YouTube channel too, I've been recommended and told about a lot of awesome bands from a lot of cool people. A lot that I probably never would have heard about or even tried to listen to otherwise. So, thank you all. You know who you are. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I discovered a lot on my own. None of my family listens to this music. I don't have any friends that do. It's kind of just me. I hope that answers your question. Alright, next, which is better, Jackson or Fender? So fun fact, when I was writing this down in my notes app so I didn't like forget all the questions, my phone decided to correct Fender to fentanyl. So that caught me a bit off guard when I opened the app again to record this. So there you go. Jackson or fentanyl? Well, I don't know. I've never owned a Jackson. I have a Fender, or I guess a Squire, which is owned by Fender, right? I don't really think there's a best or a better option. They're probably both good in their own ways. It just depends on what you're looking for. Alright, so what is your favorite song to play? This is a hard one. I don't think I've ever sat down and thought to myself, this is my favorite song to play right here. And, you know, my favorite songs and what I like and bands I get tired of changes all the time, you know. It changes pretty drastically. So, you know, favorite song one day, in a few weeks, in a few months, in a year, is not my favorite anymore. There's only a few bands that I have like never gotten tired of and always like no matter what. I come back to some and rediscover them again, like, oh yeah, this is good. But there's only a select few that I haven't seemed to ever get tired of, and they're just good no matter what. Honestly, I've been pretty lazy with learning new songs and just finding new music in general. So I've been trying to find some new bands lately, and I have been successful with some. So that's cool. But yeah, that's just kind of hard. I think a lot of the songs I've done covers for could probably be some of my favorites to play. But I think the two songs right now that like my brain automatically goes to play whenever I first pick up my guitar are Violet by Hole, because that's one of like the first songs I ever learned, and it's still fun to play, and Twisted Cane by Danzig. Those are like the two that my brain just like defaults to. I don't know why. Are those my favorites to play? I don't know, but apparently they're good enough that subconsciously I just kind of start playing it without thinking. I hope that's good enough. I can't pick a favorite. It's, all or nothing. Next, are there any rare records you are looking for? I don't think there's anything particularly that rare, but there are some, lots actually, albums that I would like to find, and some of those include Walk Among Us by the Misfits, The Age of Coral by the Cro-Mags, Morbid Tales by Celtic Frost, Speak English or Die by SOD, and Pretty on the Inside by Hole. There's probably a ton more that I can't think of right now, but those are the first that came to mind for me, so yeah, there you go. Alright, do you like Deftones? They're okay. I haven't heard every single song or every single album. I've only heard some songs, but they do have some that are pretty good. They're not bad. I don't really listen to them that often, or at all, really. But, if someone were to put Deftones on, like, I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing to listen to. I don't think they're horrible, I guess. Next question, what does your family think of your music taste, and do they approve? They think it's weird, to say the least. I think my family has gotten a little more understanding. At first, it felt like my mom thought I was trying to like summon a demon in my room while I was playing my records and stuff, but I think for most people it's just hard to understand heavier, more abrasive types of music, and I guess that's why it just doesn't appeal to most people. Like, you just get it or you don't, And then here's another question. Is it okay for me to totally not like any Danzig or Rob Zombie I've ever heard, despite my uncle and my friends' peer pressure to force it down my ear canals and have people say, come on bro, how can you not like it? I mean, of course it's okay. You can dislike or like whatever you want. It literally does not matter. I've never listened to Rob Zombie, so I don't really know. I can't give you an opinion there. I think you're probably a whole lot less likely to like a band if people are telling you that you should like them. I know my opinion would definitely be impacted if I were being pressured to listen rather than listening on my own. Like, if someone's telling you to do something or like something, it's like, no, I don't want to. But I think you should maybe give both those bands another chance on your own time. Maybe try different songs you haven't heard before, because from my experience, sometimes it just takes the right song to be like, oh wait, this is really good. That always happens to me. But either way, music is subjective, and you are entitled to your opinion, and it doesn't make me love Danzig any less. So like what you like and dislike what you don't. And another question is, as a huge Nirvana fan since my teens and first power chord days, have you heard the conspiracy about Kurt and Courtney? Kurt's death hit my angst teenage brain hard when it happened, regarding a resurrection of the whole Courtney got Kurt murdered and set up the scene. I personally never liked Hole, but my first girlfriend did, so we played it a bit, and I saw in your catalog you covered a few. Who hasn't heard it? It's everywhere. I think it's a load of crap, honestly. Like, if you have more than one brain cell, which I have 3, I feel like you would know that it just doesn't make sense. Like, have you heard Nirvana's lyrics? Have you? I think people just don't want to accept that this person they like put up on a pedestal and love and worship so much was suicidal and a drug addict. Like, that doesn't make him a bad person, you know, but that's just kind of the reality. And, you know, maybe I'm biased because I love Hole a lot, Nirvana not so much, and I love and have been inspired by Courtney Love. And I can't imagine how horrible it would be still to this day, 30 years later, to be blamed for your husband's death. Like, that is awful. Honestly, even if she did do something, to not be caught for that long or have anyone like do or say anything is kind of impressive. Like, not gonna lie. At this point, you earned it. Like, go off, queen. I'm just kidding. Sort of. But you get my point. Like, you know, like, come on. It's stupid. It's really dumb, in my opinion. Alright, last question is opinion on the Misfits after Danzig left. I like the music. I actually didn't listen to any of the Michael Graves stuff for a good amount of time because I just didn't have a need to. But I finally did, and you know, it's different but similar enough. It's not too similar, it's not too different. Still got the same, you know, horror vibe, but you know, obviously because you don't have the same person writing the songs, it's a little different. I still like the stuff. I do. I prefer Danzig's voice still because I think he just has a more unique voice, but I think all the Misfits eras are pretty good. I don't have anything against them. So yeah, that is all the questions. If you have more or you didn't see the post and you want to ask a question here, you can do so and maybe I'll make another video. So goodbye.